how do you buy out a sibling share of a property? This is a fantastic question, and I appreciate it being asked. If you've got a question like this, type it in the comments below, and I'll put a video together for you. So I got a call last week from somebody. It was a boyfriend-girlfriend situation, and they were together. They purchased a house together, and then they ended up splitting up. The girlfriend wanted to keep the property, and the boyfriend wanted to get his equity out of the property, and was causing some problems, and they're trying to figure out how to deal with this. I also got this question about how to buy out a sibling share on a property, and frankly, they're really the same thing. And so I want to put a video together on this and answer this question. So how do you deal with this? Well, the easiest way is determining how much the property is worth. So it really depends on how much equity you have in the property and what the property is really worth. Sometimes there's no equity in the property or very little equity in the property, and so what would happen is a quitclaim deed. A quitclaim deed is going to be where somebody is giving their interest of the property to someone else. It gets a little more complicated if there's a loan on the property, because if I am giving my interest over the property but there's still a loan on the property, my credit is tied to that loan. So if the person I'm quitclaiming deeding the property to doesn't make those payments, then I could be on the hook and I'd have to make those payments on a property that I don't even own. That's what you're getting into more with a boyfriend-girlfriend situation. But in this specific question, when we're talking about siblings, we're typically talking about an inherited property, right? So siblings typically aren't going and buying a property together. What's happening is that someone's passed away, a family member's passed away, and there's a house that's there. And so let's say I give an example like in my father-in-law's situation where his dad passed away, his mom passed away, there was 4 siblings. And 2 of the siblings wanted to keep the property, and 2 of the siblings wanted to sell the property. Well, the problem was, first and foremost, they needed to establish how much the property was worth. And that could be done by talking to some real estate agents or getting a full appraisal on the property done, which is probably the easiest. It's a little more expensive, but it's probably going to be more solidifying or more legitimate, so you're going to have less complaints later if something happened. So you can get an appraisal on the property. That's going to establish the value of the property. Then what's going to happen is, once you know what that value is, so let's just, for numbers' sake, let's just say that property my father-in-law's was worth $100,000. There's 4 siblings, so each sibling would be entitled to $25,000 each, 1/4 of the $100,000. Now, the siblings that are wanting to keep the property, let's just say there's one sibling who wants to keep the property, he would then need to pay $75,000, $25,000 to each person, and then he would own the property. The question is how would he get the money to do that? First, if he had the money, he could just cut them checks, they could deed their interest, he could own the property, and away we go. It's typically not the case. So then the next avenue of this would be for him to get a new loan on the property, where he goes to a bank and tells all of his siblings, I'll get a loan on the property. With that loan, I'll be able to pay you off, and then you'll be able to get your interest, but you've got to allow me to get the loan so that I can then pay you, and that can be worked out with some details, so you get a new loan to pay off the interest. Another option is a seller financing option. So rather than giving the siblings all of the money at once, you could say, I'll give you some money up front, and I'll give you a little bit of money over time on a payment or an installment type sale, an installment type plan that could work out for everybody. But any way you look at it, if there's no equity in the property, it's a simple deeding the property over. If there is a loan on the property, there become some complications on this. Lots of times when it's a sibling situation, the loan is in the name of the deceased person that's died. Some lenders will come in and call that loan due and say, hey, you've got to pay this loan in full. Other lenders may be happy just continuing to get monthly payments and may not ever call that loan in due. So you've got to be cautious about if there's a loan on the property or not. We've talked about multiple ways that we can help take care of a sibling or a family member or a boyfriend or girlfriend if they have equity in the property. But it takes some time, and it takes some thinking about how much equity. But it all starts with establishing the value. Once you've established the value of the property, then you can put a strategy together as to how much money needs to be there. Then you can look at financing terms to determine if you can do an installment sell where you're giving money to the siblings over time, or you can get a new loan potentially that will do that. As we explore if there's an existing loan on the property, also something we need to look at. So there's multiple ways to make this happen as we're dealing with having siblings that are ownership in the property, and how you can do a buyout assuming that you're going to want to keep that property. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up. It means a lot to me, and also consider subscribing, because I'd love to have you. One of the things you may want if you're buying out some siblings is a property value analysis. We have a form that does that. If you text us at 435-294-0433, 435-294-0433, all you've got to do is text over your email address, and we will send you an email with that property value analysis. I also have a blog on the best ways to find properties in a very tight real estate market. You're going to want to check that out, as well as a video on investing for cash flow versus flipping for profit. Otherwise, make it a very profitable day, and bye for now.